Update. I was humiliated in front of my fiancé by my best friend. I am not sure if I should forgive her. How should I handle this? Original post. I will do my best to keep this to as few words as possible. I, 26 female, have a small group of people I consider my best friends that I have known all my life. I'll use fake names for them: Beth, 27 female, Stacy, and Gwen. Of the three, only Gwen is married and/or in a relationship. I'm a big girl, 5'3", 260 pounds. I've always had issues with my weight and have had self-esteem issues because of it. I was always told, "You have such a beautiful face, and if you were smaller, I would date you." I've been in a few relationships where it was obvious that my boyfriends at the time were ashamed to be seen with me. They would never hold my hand in public and never posted pictures of us together on Instagram or Facebook. My luck on dating apps consisted of getting ghosted or guys just wanting sex, and I am embarrassed to say that I allowed myself to be used by some of them. Eventually, I stopped responding to most messages. 3 years ago, I met my fiancé Kyle, 35 male, at one of my nephew's soccer games. Kyle was the coach and approached me afterward. He asked me if I was ever going to reply to his message. I was confused, and he said he messaged me a week prior and answered a question I had on my Plenty of Fish profile. That's when I remembered his message and I got embarrassed. I told him that I had been busy, and he asked me if I had any plans for later that night. My sister and nephew both liked him and had told me as much. I agreed and exchanged numbers with him, even though I felt like he was out of my league. Kyle is average-sized and in shape. To this day, I don't know why he didn't walk out on me on that date. I got it into my head that he was only after sex and might have some big girl fetish. We met up for an early dinner at a casual Mexican restaurant, and within 5 minutes I asked him, "Are you just looking for a hookup because you have a thing for fat girls?" He shook his head and told me he was interested because of things I listed on my profile, like how I liked soccer, my favorite wine, TV shows, and that the photos I posted showed that I like to travel. He led most of the conversation and tried to get me to open up and ask questions. He would gently touch my hand from time to time and tried flirting. Somehow he asked to see me again, and the second date went a lot better. I found out he was a widower who lost his wife and 2-month-old son in a car crash a decade before. He had tried dating off and on for a few years, but nothing serious came of it. He worked in the field I got my degree in, but had no luck getting hired into. Within 3 months, we were officially boyfriend and girlfriend. My friends and family were thrilled, and his family welcomed me in, even his former in-laws, whom he still considered family. All except Beth. Beth, when I told her, kept asking me if I was sure about him. She asked if he wasn't just using me for sex, which had yet to happen. Then it was, "Well, he probably doesn't want to have sex with you." When I mentioned that he holds my hand in public and would pull me just a bit closer to him when we would go out for drinks and guys would walk toward us, suddenly it was that he was controlling. Eventually, Kyle met my 3 best friends, and they all liked him immediately, and Beth said he was a keeper. He helped me get hired at another company in my field, starting at $70,000 plus benefits, after I politely declined an opportunity to work alongside him. I say all this because since Kyle has come into my life, he has shown me nothing but love, affection, grace, and kindness. He has also helped me start to get past my insecurities. I was over 300 pounds when I met him, and now I'm at 260. My initial fears of being some fetish of his are gone, and he has been there in every way I could ever want. A few days ago, we hosted a dinner with Beth, Stacy, Gwen, and her husband. Kyle and Gwen's husband, Mike, had become friends, and they did all the cooking and cleanup. Everything was going well, and we were all relaxing on the back porch drinking some cocktails, when Beth asked me, in front of everyone, "Why do you tolerate that picture of Kyle with his dead wife and son?" I was absolutely mortified. Kyle looked upset, but was keeping his composure. I explained that it was the only picture he had of the 3 of them together, and that I would never ask him to hide it, because that was his wife and son. That he loved them, that he loves me, and that she was being rude and needed to call an Uber to leave. She obviously had too much to drink and didn't seem like she wanted to leave. Then she absolutely embarrassed me when she brought up a humiliation I had endured with an ex during the lowest point in my life that I hadn't told Kyle about. I bet keeping the picture up was his idea, and you went along with it like when Jeff would make you wear a pig mask and oink while he banged you. Kyle absolutely exploded on her and yelled that she get the heck out of our house. Mike and Gwen had to drag a now crying Beth out, with Stacy following them. When they left, I just started bawling and looked at Kyle and started repeating that I was sorry and that if he didn't want me anymore, I would understand. All my insecurities that I worked so hard to overcome came flooding back. He just hugged me and kissed the top of my head and told me that what I did before doesn't bother him. It was Beth humiliating me that pissed him off. He told me that it's up to me if I remain friends with her, but he doesn't want to be around Beth anymore. He cleaned up the patio and held me as I fell asleep crying. Today, I texted Beth that we needed to talk. We met up for brunch, and she was very embarrassed about her behavior, but I told her I don't think I can be her friend. She then started to blame Kyle for our friendship ending, and said that he was not right in the head for making you look at his dead wife and kid. Don't throw away our friendship over him. I got up, paid for my food, and left. Gwen and Stacy don't want to be in the middle, but agree that Beth was in the wrong, and that they are happy that I found the love of my life, and hope one day things will return to normal. I told them that I won't be upset if they hang out with Beth, but I don't want to be included if she is with them. They were fine with that. Beth was my first friend, and someone I always looked up to. She held me as I cried when my first boyfriend left me a week after I lost my virginity to him because he was dared to date me and sleep with me. Now I'm wavering about wanting to give her another chance. We have so much history and amazing memories. Kyle said he would support me either way, but he was a hard no on being around Beth outside our wedding if I wanted her there. I'm so torn on what to do because she was drunk, but still, she said those words, and they cut me to the core. Should I forgive her or cut her out of my life? Now for the top advice before reading the updates. This is one of the crappiest things I have ever read about someone who dares to call themselves your friend. She is a bitter, insecure, and jealous person. Yes, jealous. Only jealousy can make someone do that many things to put someone else down. I'm very sorry for your previous experience with your ex-boyfriend. If someone did that to my friend, I'd be covering his house in toilet paper and putting his phone number on a notice board as a judge for the best Chewbacca voice competition. That's what friends are for. They always support you and protect you. I'm glad she finally showed you who she is. I bet dollars to donuts she played a significant part in keeping you as insecure as possible and fed you poisonous thoughts about your own worth. Let the trash remove itself from your life. And don't even listen to her advice about his wife and baby. He loves you for a reason, because you are a great person who understands him and his life before you. His loss is not something that can ever be forgotten or removed like a picture. It takes a special kind of love to move forward. I'm glad you found each other. Thank you for what you said, especially about his wife and son. Now I'm crying happy tears. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Beth is jealous AF that you are in a loving relationship and getting married. She 100% thinks badly of you, thinks she's better, and wonders why it's happening to you and not her. She is constantly trying to sabotage your relationship by getting in your head with her BS questions and opinions. When that didn't work, she attacked your fiancé directly, using the one thing that might push him away, and when that failed, she humiliated you by exposing something terrible to get him to leave you. She is no friend. Drop her, and be happy with your remaining friends and fiancé. Thank you. I'm starting to open my eyes to who she really is. I don't need her in my life. Reading the comments and thinking back has been revealing. Now for the updates. I just got a text from Gwen who told me that she and Mike have cut Beth out of their lives. Mike was furious at Beth and got pissed at Gwen for wanting to keep a friend like that. Gwen apologized for even considering keeping Beth as a friend. Mini update 2. I've stayed up too late reading and replying to comments. Thank you everyone for the kind words and for helping me realize that Beth doesn't care about me. I'm hurt, sad, and angry, and actually pity the woman Beth became. Somewhere along the way, the 7-year-old Beth that stood up for me when kids would make fun of me and would share the snacks her mother packed for her, died, and I will mourn the loss of that Beth. Now I have to go crawl into bed and cuddle with my man. Next story, update. My mother's boyfriend made me realize how insecure my stepmother is. Original post. I feel like I've just gotten to know a new world where I'm basically treated like a person and not a nasty fly. My father has been married to my stepmother for 6 years. They have 2 kids together. I'm 17 years old. I'm quiet. I clean all my things. I work part-time, so I even pay for a lot of my things. I'm not perfect, but I've never been a problem, yet she always made me feel like one. She started by showing annoyance when I went to my father's house. My mother taught me to always wash my own dishes, but I have a clear memory of hearing my stepmother tell my father that she would not clean other people's dishes or cook food for me. I think that was the first time I felt like a nuisance in a place where I used to feel comfortable. My father and I used to always take trips together, and I honestly felt a little excited to go on vacation with my little brothers, but they started going on vacation together as a family, and I was no longer part of that family. She didn't like me going with them. Then the Christmas photos started. It felt strange when they took a picture with me, and then she would say, "Okay, now one with my family," and I had to step aside. The same thing happened with the photos they have hanging. Baptisms? I am not in them, although I was present at the place. When my siblings were born, she really hated when I was around them. She resented my presence. I remember once asking about this on a Facebook group about stepmoms and getting responses from women saying that my stepmother's behavior was normal, so I just decided to try not to feel bad about it. I think as the years went by it stopped hurting, or so I thought, until I met my mother's boyfriend, who I will call Luigi because he looks like him. He's been dating my mom for 2 years, but he's been a friend of my mom's for years. He has a son from a previous girlfriend. Luigi is really kind and funny, so it felt strange to feel comfortable around him. One day he was organizing a vacation, and I was happy to hear him include me in his plans. His son and I get along well, so he even invites me on outings with them. My mother is pregnant, and I think that relived a trauma with my stepmother. So I automatically expected to be left aside by Luigi, but it didn't happen that way. My mother and he always include his son and me in all the plans. Thanks to this, I began to realize little by little that my stepmother is not normal, but it still hurt. Everything exploded yesterday, when my father and his family were going to take the typical Christmas photo. My father told me that he would take one with me later, like every year. He keeps them in his office, so I stayed at home. I felt silly for feeling sad again. My mother hugged me, but I just got tired and finally told my mother about the real treatment I've been getting. For the first time, I saw Luigi angry. He called my father, and I heard him tell him everything. I even laughed a little when he said that my stepmother is an insecure psychopath. Although Luigi apologized to my mother for it, he told her that what I have been experiencing is a type of psychological child abuse that he will not be involved in anymore. Those words made me realize that it's true. I've been bullied by a grown woman just for existing. She's insecure about a kid. I was a kid when I met her. I was a kid when she made me feel insecure in my own house. I was a kid when she started to call me a weekend daughter. I don't want to see my father again. I don't want to live my adulthood around a person who hates me. But I also don't want her to win by giving her what she wants, making me disappear. Now for the top comments before reading the update. Don't think about cutting contact with your father as her winning. Your father has not stepped up to be a good father or even a protector. At the end of the day, many faults fall upon him. You are prioritizing your true family, the people who cared about you. It isn't about anyone winning. Her father is no prize, as he enables his wife's horrid treatment of his own flesh and blood. It's about protecting the daughter's peace, about removing toxic people from her orbit. Far too many people ignore the fact that marrying someone means embracing the people in that person's life into your own. There are plenty of reasons to keep certain people at arm's length, but not their spouse's children. Children should always be protected and welcome. Luigi for the win. He sounds amazing and has your back. Your dad has enabled your step-monster's behavior. And he hasn't made a mistake. He made choices of putting her and his new family before you. Why would you keep toxic people in your life? What does he or her actually bring to your life? Edit. Apparently this post has been shared in a sub about stepmoms. since I have been receiving private messages from people who want to justify my stepmother's behavior. I'm sorry, but I won't answer any messages, and I will only block those accounts. I don't need someone to turn the victimizer in my life into a victim. I don't need a group of cruel adults trying to make me feel guilty for what happened when I was a child. Absolutely nothing in this world justifies mistreating a child. Being a stepmother is difficult? Then try being a little girl who doesn't understand why an adult who lives in the same house hates her. Now for the update. Hi, I made this account just to vent, but I got so many sweet comments, except for the harassment by the women in that stepmom subreddit, that I wanted to leave one last update for the people worried about me. After the day Luigi put boundaries on my father and stepmother, my father didn't call me or say anything until several hours later when he sent me a message saying, "I'm so sorry, Iha, I love you." I felt strange because that message didn't make me cry or feel loved. I always wanted to be a daddy's girl, you know? I always loved my father and really appreciated those few moments we could have together without my stepmother being there making bitter comments. But when I read that message, I had no feeling other than thinking, same old thing, and I didn't answer. My father had pictures of me in his office at home, but why do I have to be a secret? I'm not the daughter of a lover he wants to hide. Why does my existence have to be hidden there? Why can't my face be in the house where I lived? It's silly to say this now when I used to feel happy seeing my photo there. I felt special thinking, Dad has me in his office every time he works. But as I started to grow up, these things took on a darker, more realistic meaning, and that feeling of being special disappeared. A day after that message, I decided to talk to my father and stepmother. My mother and Luigi said they would go with me, but I told them I preferred to go alone. I told my father that I will not return to the house as long as he is still married to her. I think my words may have affected him because he apologized to me again, told me that he loves me, and said that now we can all go on vacation together. I would have liked to be the bigger person, but they are the adults. I was the bigger person since she arrived, and I'm tired. I told my father that I don't want to go anywhere where she is. I told him that even if he changes and sets limits on her, I still don't want to surround myself with that kind of energy anymore. I think it's healthy for me to start setting limits. I've read comments from people who talked about being over 35 years old and continuing to put up with their cruel stepmothers in order to see their fathers or siblings. I don't want that future. I don't want to live my adulthood sharing dinners with a woman who hates me. I'm terrified to think about having children and that they would have to call her grandma. I don't want to pretend that everything is fine. My father told me that he can't leave her because she is his wife and the mother of his children. I told him that I know, and that's why I won't come back. He saw something in her if they have been together for years. Both deserve each other, a cruel person and another who failed to protect me. I'm not going to lie. We argued and raised our voices, especially with her, who said that I was always problematic and in need of my father's attention. Their true personalities became clear to me when she said that I should understand that the wife or husband comes before the children, and my father agreed. I couldn't help but compare it to my mother and Luigi, who always put me and his son first. My mother always asked me if Luigi treated me well when they first got to know each other. In the end, I made it clear to my father and her that as long as they are married, I will never set foot in that house again, and that I will not be in the same place as her ever again, because I think she's really insecure, and that's really sad. I told my father that I also need space away from him. He told me that he loves me, but I'm tired of that way of loving. I felt depressed for a few days, but today we finished decorating the house for Christmas, so my mother infected me with her Christmas excitement. Luigi has gone to pick up his son, so tomorrow we will all be together. Maybe I let my stepmother win, but I think I'm going to win too by not having her in my life.